The single best thing that you can do for your health is become a whole fooder, specifically a whole food vegan. A lot of people will decide to go raw, and they think that if it's cooked, then it's poison. So you got to be 100% raw in order to be healthy. And nothing could be further from the truth. It's either raw or it's cooked. There's no in between. And I'm here to tell you that is simply not true. If you consume whole, cooked, vegan plant foods, you can still become incredibly healthy and overcome disease. So don't get caught up into this 100% all or nothing approach. One of the biggest pitfalls of raw foodists is that they set themselves up for failure for trying to be 100% raw. And if they fall off the bandwagon, then they beat themselves all up, and sometimes they even go back to the foods that they were eating before that were making them really sick, like animal products and processed foods and chips and all these other unhealthy food choices. So the best way to approach eating healthy is become a whole fooder. That means eating whole recognizable food like sweet potatoes, brown rice, organic steel-cut oatmeal, whole beans like kidney beans, black beans, whole recognizable foods, raw or cooked. And that is going to help you be able to stay on this healthy lifestyle. But if you're only trying to consume raw foods, it's going to be really hard for you. For a lot of people, it's not realistic, to be 100% raw all the time. A lot of us can get too thin, or we can get deficiencies, or we can start craving animal products. One big thing that I've learned is that if you're 100% raw and you're juicing a lot and you're drinking a lot of smoothies and you're eating a lot of fruit and vegetables, a lot of that is very cleansing to your system, and it washes out a lot of like salt and stuff in your body. And one big reason why people crave animal foods is because animal flesh is salty. So like if you cut yourself and you taste your blood, it's salty. Well, animal flesh is salty. So if you're going on a really low salt diet, and you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, you start to lose a lot of that salt. And a lot of times the raw foodists and the vegans start craving salty things, and they'll start craving perhaps animal products, or they'll start craving salty potato chips. The easiest way to stop those cravings, guys, is to take like a sweet potato or some beans or whatever, cook it, and then sprinkle some Celtic sea salt on there or Himalayan crystal salt. And it will take away any cravings you have for flesh or any cravings you have for unhealthy snacks and foods. Trust me on this, because when I'm craving something that I know isn't very good for me, I will put some of the Celtic sea salt on there, or some kelp or whatever that's high in, naturally occurring sodium, and it takes away any cravings that I have. So that's a really good thing to know when you start doing this healthy, eating this way, is that you gotta have, those minerals in that healthy salt. I'm not talking about sodium chloride, which is actually poisonous to your body. I'm talking about full spectrum salt. It's got all the minerals in it, and it's all balanced. So, the best thing you can do and be is 100% whole food vegan. And, I eat probably 95%, actually I probably would say 99% whole food vegan. The other 1% is because I take cod liver oil. I might get laughed at and people might think I'm funny, but I do think that taking a cod liver oil or eating, actually just taking cod liver oil or some type of fish oil from a good reputable company like Nordic Naturals or Carlson's Labs is a smart thing to do, because that way you're getting the EPA and DHA. If you don't want to do that, that's your choice, but I personally just want to be safe and know that I'm getting that. And so, there isn't any mercury, and it's safe, it's contaminant free, and it's a lot better doing it that way than having to eat fish, animal flesh. So You know, I'm still getting omega-3 fats, but I don't have to take the risk of eating the actual fish, you know, and consuming mercury and all these other toxins and things that are bad for me. So that's the 1%, you know, that I do eat, is the fish oil, because I think that it's important for, you know, our brains, our eyes, and our skin, you know, for so many functions of our body. So, you know, I want to stress the importance then of making sure that you guys are not afraid to consume, you know, like whole vegan plant foods like sweet potatoes, corn, squash, beans, rice. You know, there's so many whole foods, and even if you boil, you know, the best way to cook them really is boiling them, you know, or slow cooking them, and they're really healthy for you, and you can still reverse diseases and become really healthy. And they're, you know, sweet potatoes is loaded with all kinds of nutrients like vitamin A, you know, it's got vitamin C, fiber, you know, it's just really jam-packed full of nutrients. There's a lot of good vitamins and minerals in a lot of these other foods that people think are so toxic for them, and they just throw the baby out with the bathwater, and they just try to be 100% raw. Well, you know, being 100% raw, that can't be a healthy diet, you know, because then you're going to start craving other things, you know, and that's where a lot of people go into the raw animal foods, because they think if it's raw, then it's got to be healthy. So I'm going to have some raw goat milk, or I'm going to have some raw beef, you know, and that's simply not true. So you're doing yourself a big disservice by not consuming whole plant foods like sweet potatoes, you know, or some rice or oatmeal or whatever. So we shouldn't have a fear of these healthy whole food sources. So the biggest thing that you can do today in order to become healthy is become, you know, and eat a plant-based diet, become a whole food vegan. You know, and maybe 1% of that, you know, you can do the cod liver oil to make sure you get the DHA and EPA. You know, and other than the cod liver oil and fish oil, I strongly recommend, you know, people take a B12. You know, take a B12 vitamin, preferably methylcobalamin, which is a form, you know, your body can use. So, the whole point and message of this video is become a whole fooder.